Hey everyone, welcome to the show. I have three very quick, very positive updates to share with you guys about Donald Trump's nearly $1.8 billion insurrectionist fund, the one that he created with our tax dollars. So, first of all, this was on Friday. The Washington Post reported that a federal judge is now investigating whether this giveaway was a get out of jail and the get out of jail free card, I should say, constitutes fraud. So you guys might recall Trump had an amendment in there that said, "Oh, you can never come after me or my family for any financial crimes may have committed." And so was asking the Trump family to respond by June 12th. So, anyway, the Washington Post then wrote this in this article. They said a federal judge on Friday ordered lawyers for President Trump and his family to respond to grievous allegations that an unusual deal to end their lawsuit against the IRS constituted an act of fraud, asking them to explain why the controversial agreement was an appropriate way to solve the case or resolve the case. It's an extraordinary request by a U.S. District Judge, Kathleen M. Williams in Florida, who is acting on a rarely used judicial authority to investigate misconduct against the court. Keep that in mind. It could lead the court to reopen a case that had been dismissed earlier this month and threaten the legal underpinning that acting Attorney General Todd Blanche used to establish a nearly 1.8 billion fund to pay people who claim they were unfairly targeted or investigated or prosecuted. So here's the thing. I guarantee, were freaking out about this. Their crime family, this Trump crime family, they are not going to stop until every single one of them is dressed in orange and sitting behind bars. That's the only way this is going to end. So, anyway, the impetus for this was that the judges that I mentioned last week. Remember, there were a bunch of former judges who filed with the court and they they petitioned the court to reopen the case. So that's what got this whole thing going. Well, this Judge Williams, wrote in her decision, quote, a party's decision to file a frivolous lawsuit for the sole purpose of forcing a settlement may qualify as such an improper purpose. May qualify as such, and I don't know, it's worded weird, but anyway. And then check this out. So remember last week, I said that part of what these former judges argued was that Trump and his attorneys never bothered to submit this settlement, this so-called settlement, to the court to get approval. Well, now it's being reported that Trump, as the plaintiff, just told the court, oh, we're just withdrawing the lawsuit. So they didn't even tell the judge that there was a settlement. They pretended like they were just dropping it. So the judge closed this case and put in the court documents no settlement of record. So Trump's attorney is now saying, oh, well, we did it that way. We told the court that we were dropping it because we didn't think that it required an approval by the judge. Seriously? So either Donald Trump's attorney is incompetent or he's a liar. Could be both. So anyway, here's the thing. While all this is going down in the meantime and waiting on the Trumps to respond to this, Democratic leaders of various states, they are now fighting back. They decided, okay, we're just going to tax this money at 100%. So they were drafting legislation that would allow these states to tax anything paid out to these criminals at 100%. So this is their way of seizing the money back and giving it back to us as taxpayers. Well, California, New York, Wisconsin, and Colorado were on board with this. Wisconsin and Colorado, you might recall, they're very crucial because Wisconsin was where a lot of the January Sixers were arrested. That's where a lot of them came from. And then you have Tina Peters, who is from Colorado, who would undoubtedly file a claim, right? She would definitely, with what a scumbag she is, try to take our money. And, this moronic governor, Jared Polis, set her loose on America again. So, guess what? It was getting too hot in the kitchen. And Trump now realized, oh, well, a lot of my people aren't going to get this money anyway. And then, so they won't be doing my bidding for me. They won't be out there committing more crimes on my behalf. So he's dipping out on this. Donald Trump has now said, maybe not. So as of today, Trump's Justice Department announced we're probably going to be dropping this matter. We're probably just not going to pursue this $1.8 billion giveaway. So between, the pushback they were getting from the blue states, the court, which I think really freaked him and his family out because now they're going to have to prove, yeah, this isn't like just a grift. This isn't just us trying to get away with crimes, which how are they going to prove that? Right. And then on top of that, it was reported this morning that Trump met with Mike Johnson. So little MAGA, grinder Mike Johnson, who was freaking out, him and all the Republicans, because this is just one more thing that shows that the Republicans don't actually mean it when they say, fiscal responsibility and party of the people, and we're all here for you. And, this isn't all about Trump. It's about the working class. So anyway, as of now, he's dropping it. It just goes to show you guys, if we apply pressure, if we do not take our eyes off the ball, if we don't get distracted by 10 billion other things or 1.8 billion other things, if we stay focused and really apply pressure on certain topics, he will cave. He will back off because it's too much for him. He doesn't want the really what I think is the legal liability. So there you go. Hope you all enjoyed that. So please please share this video, subscribe if you have not, please donate if you possibly can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.